If your friend smells bad, do not tell them they are sweating. Tell them they are covered in bacterial feces. Human sweat is actually odorless. It is effectively just sterile salt water. The smell comes from a specific bacteria called Staphylococcus hominis that lives in the armpit. The glands release a milky fluid, rich in proteins, a nutrient broth that triggers a biological feeding frenzy. As they gorge themselves, they digest the proteins and excrete a sulfur-based waste called thioalcohol. This chemical is molecularly identical to skunk spray. That sharp, spicy stench isn't body heat. It is the gas released by the anuses of millions of tiny bugs, simultaneously using their pores as a toilet. The warmer it gets, the faster they breed, doubling their population and their waste every 20 minutes. The more they sweat, the more they feed the colony. They aren't musky. They are a 5-star restaurant for bacteria that are paying for their meal by pooping directly onto their skin. Tag the friend who needs a shower right now. When you sleep in a new place, only half of your brain is actually resting. The other half is awake, listening for danger. Scientists call this the first night effect. It's a survival mechanism inherited from animals, like dolphins, who sleep with one eye open. When you spend the night in an unfamiliar environment, a hotel room, a friend's couch, or a new bedroom, your brain doesn't fully trust it. One hemisphere refuses to enter deep sleep. Instead, it stays partially alert, acting as a silent night watchman. This alert half monitors every creak of the floor, every whisper of wind through the window. It's not just hearing those sounds, it's analyzing them, deciding whether to wake you up or let you keep sleeping. That's why you often feel exhausted after the first night somewhere new, even if you slept for 8 hours. You think you're alone and safe in the dark, but a part of your mind is always awake, waiting for the attack it assumes is coming. Vaping is not what you think it is. You think you're inhaling harmless vapor. You are wrong. You are breathing a superheated chemical cocktail directly into the most sensitive tissue in your body. Vapes don't produce vapor. They are miniature chemical reactors in your pocket. They flash heat, a cocktail of propylene glycol, the stuff in smoke machines, and flavor molecules, turning it into a sticky, hot aerosol. It's closer to inhaling warm body spray than water. But here's the terrifying part. The industry is terrifyingly unregulated. We have almost no idea what's actually in the juice, and when that metal coil heats up, the chemicals transform. They break down and merge, creating entirely new, unknown toxic compounds we have never studied. Flavorings safe to eat can become lethal when inhaled. It gets worse. The coil itself disintegrates, shedding nanoparticles of toxic heavy metals, lead, chromium, and nickel directly into your lungs. Nickel is known to cause cancer when inhaled. Vaping supercharges nicotine delivery, making it insanely addictive. Because it's so new, we have zero long-term data. We are conducting the largest uncontrolled medical experiment in history. And if you vape, you are the test subject. What if I told you that both Team Chicken and Team Egg are actually illiterate? A new study suggests the real answer is the mother. We used to think early reptiles laid eggs, but a massive study from Nanjing University analyzed 51 extinct species and found that the earliest ancestors of birds and reptiles actually practiced extended embryo retention. Basically, the original operating system was live birth. This meant embryos developed inside the body, protected by muscle, warmth, and constant nutrients instead of a fragile shell. The hard-shelled egg wasn't the default. It was a security patch nature installed millions of years later because the ocean got too dangerous for babies. The egg is not a seed. It is an evolutionary bunker. So when your friend argues about this, remind them that the egg is just a trauma response developed by a species that was too scared to give birth in the open. They aren't discussing biology. They are discussing a security update. Send this to someone who thinks they know everything to ruin their day. If you have a friend who says, "I'm 5 minutes away," when they haven't even put shoes on, stop getting mad. You are yelling at a person whose brain is physically detached from the linear flow of time. Neuroscience refers to this as temporal myopia, a severe defect in the prefrontal cortex where the brain fails to simulate the future consequences of current actions. While your brain runs a complex background algorithm calculating traffic, distance, and preparation speed, their brain is stuck in a permanent impulse repulsive now. They lack the neural bandwidth to perceive the fourth dimension, meaning their reality is buffering while yours is streaming in 4K. In lab tests, people with this trait consistently misjudge travel and prep time. But with reminders, calendars, and alarms, they often improve. It's a manageable quirk. So when they show up 45 minutes late with an iced coffee and no shame, it isn't disrespect. It's a hardware glitch. They're running on neurological dial-up in a fiber optic world. Share this with the friend who is probably 5 minutes away right now. If you knew what was inside the ice machine, you would never order a cold drink at a restaurant again. While kitchens are inspected strictly, ice machines are often ignored. They are dark, wet, and rarely emptied. This creates the perfect environment for a specific type of pinkish-brown bacterial slime called Serratia marcescens. It doesn't just grow, it thrives, feeding on mineral residue, dust particles, and microscopic food vapors floating through the air. It grows in thick, jelly-like sheets inside the water chutes and the freezing trays. In many fast food investigations, the ice was found to contain more bacteria than the toilet water in the same restaurant. Some reports even found insect parts and mold colonies layered deep inside the machinery, untouched for years. When the machine dispenses ice, flakes of this dried mold and slime break off. They freeze into the center of the cubes, suspended like prehistoric insects in amber. As your drink melts the ice, the slime rehydrates, releasing a slow drip of mold spores directly into your soda. Cheers.